It's June 21st, 9:48 a.m. in the District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Hello, ladies and gents, I'm Mr. Wright, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, where we must defend our poor friend Maya. And what? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean? No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks. Also, he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now, his successor, wonder what a kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya? Pearly! You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for the 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep. I snuck out of the manor and followed by a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. It takes 2 hours by train. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, also a friend. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. Basically, whenever you go against Edgeworth, he will object your objection. You have to object his. Good times. It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life, Maya, please don't mention that name again. He can't be a rival if I, beat him every single time. One sec. Ignore that. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot, you don't know. He's gone. He's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anymore. That's the second game and I haven't played it yet, so we'll have to possibly do that, find out what happened. Maybe we'll just play it backwards. Von Karma's a woman! Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? What is with this kid? Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright? You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct? Hold on, so she's the famed successor? I am Franziska von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father? If it's something about a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking! If you interrupt me again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Ah! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please.
Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt.
Very well. What is the defense's position?
Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes? Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but on my watch. The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation.
Yes, sir.
What, that's... okay.
My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct.
Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder.
Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows, and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room.
What were they doing in there?
They were channeling a spirit, sir.
Channeling a spirit?
That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor.
Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, yes, sir. Few witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room.
Ah, and that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. So, how was the victim killed?
I was about to get to that.
Stop wasting my time, then.
Cause of death.
The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
So the victim was stabbed before being shot.
This is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
After being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead at point blank.
The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness.
Cause of death. I don't want to present, but I do want to look. Just so we can get a little... Is this everybody? Yeah, so he's the victim. She's the defendant. Da da da. The bullet hole. That'll come in handy. Alright, let's press this. Point blank, huh? So, about how far away is that?
It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away.
How do you know he was shot at point blank? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn? When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead.
Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess.
But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest.
Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with?
Fruit knife.
I see.
I see. And whose knife was it?
Looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course, Maya's face fingerprints are all over it.
All over it, huh?
This doesn't look good. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Not enough to cause instantaneous death, so what happened? How severe was the wound?
If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand.
His testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Alright, press this. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot?
Yep, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to that same conclusion too, pal.
A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What a pain. Nothing sounds out of place so far. Try to learn more about the murder weapons for now. Direct cause of death was the pistol shot to the forehead. Doesn't say point blank here, so murder weapon detective gumshoe. Whose pistol was it?
It was the victim's.
The victim? Now, why would he have? Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints? There were fingerprints?
Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Faye's, were also on the grip, sir.
So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon.
Walked right into her hands there.
That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered.
I brought the two murder weapons with me today.
Very well. The court accepts them into evidence.
Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. Murder weapon, a small fruit knife, belongs to the Fays. Bears Maya's fingerprints. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, Feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true. Mr. Wright,
Yes.
even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance.
It's a huge decision. Better think this through all the way. Still going not guilty. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor,
Have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright?
the defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of a complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright, detective.
Yes, sir.
Present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike.
Yes, sir. Now, see here, proceedings are run by... Yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence.
What you got, Gumshoe?
The photos?
Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Not fighting back, you say?
So, this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on there.
This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Alright, Mr. Wright.
Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing.
Alright, cross-examine.
But there's even more yet. This is the costume the defendant was wearing. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person. How are you so sure? He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal.
So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder change drastically.
We're in trouble now. If only had something to prove that the victim did fight back. Fine karma. She thinks she can decide the verdict with the testimony alone? Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow. Alright, so it is... Come on. The gun, or... Do we do the gun? Or the... We do the gun. No, we don't do the gun first. Damn it! How do we do it? Yeah, I know. Shush. We're gonna save it so I don't lose all the bars. You know what you need to do, you just don't know exactly how to go about it. Oops. Alright, no, not that. It's a lot easier just to do that than sit through all the conversation. There's some way to prove that she fought back. Or that he fought back. Or that he fought. Thought it would be the gun because it has both their fingerprints on it. It's not her clothes, is it? We're gonna press this. One second, I need to write this down too so I know about where I'm at. Alright, so we're gonna press this. There's blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. I did start to push this and I saw that it was going somewhere, so I kind of skipped through it and let it do its thing so that I could actually read it out loud. That's why you're getting video here.
So, there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. Were there any other clues you could glean from this?
Well,
if you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But, oh, too bad. Not enough time. Let's move on.
Ah, yes. Mrs. Von Karma is perfectly correct.
Now even the judge is on her side? If I bite off more than I can chew here, what do I do? Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be some reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder.
Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it.
Looks like my time is up. So it is the... yeah. No. Your Honor. Actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
what? What are you talking about, pal?
Where is this problem you are talking about?
Come this far. There's no turning back now. So instead of hitting press further, I said to accept it. Whoop! So I didn't actually see this part either. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here.
A hole? That wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder.
No one ever told me this.
A hole that smells of gunpowder.
Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Giggity. Your Honor. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole.
Order! 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 This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else.
Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir.
Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police, what Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
an attack and kill it. So we know that they didn't fight, defend, or didn't. We know they fought back. Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah? Having you call me by my full name is kind of weird feeling.
You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back?
Yeah, I did.
Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole your police overlooked supposed to mean?
What does it mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. If this is this what it means to not fight back?
You're right.
Seems you're correct.
If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
Alright, the wind seems to be shifting now. It's just as a self-defense case, though. That's why she's not worried. Are you finished yet, Laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma. It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
Now that you...
Why, that's right.
Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all.
Well, yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
Huh? How so?
Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
You mean by myself? Want me to put it together, the scenario all by myself? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot. Because they were too close, he missed. Defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it.
This scenario you have put together does make sense.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Wright,
On the surface, it does seem to make sense. I won't give up that easily.
please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please.
During the channeling.
Oh, I don't need to reread it. Defendants have a chance. I thought he was stabbed first. Yeah, he was stabbed first. Okay, so last of his strength to fight back. Alright, we're gonna start pressing things. Because I know what we're looking for. We're looking for the trajectory of the bullet. Because they're going to say something about while they're fighting, shooting upward or something like that. And because the bullet hole's in that folding board thing, what is it called? The folding screen. It obviously has to go, the shot had to go downward. Alright.
If you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad.
How badly hurt would you say he was?
Actually, I went to give blood the other day, and afterward I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. Guess damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Sorry.
The two were fighting. Victim took out his gun.
Looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for that day.
But a handgun?
He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder.
Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Is he taking precautions?
The victim took a shot because they were too close. He missed.
So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then?
Sorry, pal. But yeah, that's what I think. Two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired.
I'm really glad you weren't hurt.
The defendant
Then picked it Maya's never fired a gun before in her life.
victim had already taken off the safety. The safety off, even an amateur like you can fire just by pulling the trigger.
Even me? I wonder. Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look really bad. There's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. Uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Now let's press this. There's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant, and in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess.
You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Clarine channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Clarine channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect.
What are we talking about? I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony.
Alright, what do we need? Alright, I think I got it. I looked it up. Because it wasn't really making sense. Apparently I'm supposed to present this here. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing.
What do you mean?
This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
So the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume?
Gunpowder burn?
Oh, okay. So the gunpowder that they smelled isn't a gunpowder burn. You need to... Whatever. This is what you testified earlier.
When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Damn, that's a good impression of me. Oh.
But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
That is a very good point. And what exactly...
Sorry.
What exactly does this mean?
It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How is that? How do they have the strength? As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far away. Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate. Something doesn't make sense. There's a fatal flaw in your argument, Your Honor. In her argument.
Fatal? Flaw? Ah.
Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. Has to be a snag. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. Must be a piece of evidence that contradicts what I'm the line of thinking. It's gotta be this now. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that? A folding screen?
I would like to point to the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? Bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground.
Order! This changes everything.
Please, look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he shot the fired shot, and the bullet hit the folding screen. It hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Here. Or here. The defendant was here? I don't know, somewhere around here. That doesn't work. Alright, we're gonna save too, so I don't have to worry about losing them all, because it's gonna be annoying of where I'm supposed to be. On where Maya was at the time of the crime. I can't put her at the gunshot hole, can I? I'm gonna fuck this up. That's the same thing, right? Yes. We're just gonna load that so we don't have to listen to him yell at us. Actually, we should probably save it right here. There we go. Alright, just put her on the gunshot. She was standing here, near the folding screen. Okay, so... Oh, wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. Why? You of all people should know the answer to that, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from much closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there's nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ah, curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you.
I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? Changes everything.
Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Or hiding? Cowering? If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would it would be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike?
Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense.
Figured there had to be a reason.
Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the bag. Last radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. All the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic?
That wasn't my fault.
You can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later.
But punishment?
Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? It's gotta be Lotta.
Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. And that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that got a little confuzzled. Once Lotta Hart gets in here and we get her photos, we're gonna be able to start piecing everything together. Alright, thank you again so much for watching. As always, I greatly do appreciate it. And until next time, peace out, Girl Scouts.